Class from Stanford University. What would you do to earn money if all you had was $5 and 2 hours? This is the assignment I gave students in one of my classes at Stanford University. Each of 14 teams received an envelope with $5 and was told they could spend as much time as they wanted planning. However, once they opened the envelope, they had 2 hours to generate as much money as possible. I gave them from Wednesday afternoon until Sunday evening to complete the assignment. Then, on Sunday evening, each team had to send me one slide describing what they had done, and on Monday afternoon, each team had 3 minutes to present their project to the class. What would you do if you were given this challenge? When I ask most groups this question, someone usually shouts out, "Go to Las Vegas," or "Buy a lottery ticket." This gets a big laugh. These folks would take a significant risk in return for a small chance at earning a big reward. The next most common suggestion is to set up a car wash or lemonade stand, using the $5 to buy the starting materials. This is a fine option for those interested in earning a few extra dollars of spending money in 2 hours. However, most of my students eventually found a way to move far beyond the standard responses. They took seriously the challenge to question traditional assumptions, exposing a wealth of possibilities in order to create as much value as possible. How did they do this? Here's a clue. The teams that made the most money didn't use the $5 at all. They realized that focusing on the money actually framed the problem much too tightly. They understood that $5 is essentially nothing and decided to reinterpret the problem more broadly. What can we do to make money if we start with absolutely nothing? So, what did they do? Most of the teams were remarkably inventive. One group identified a problem common in a lot of college towns: the frustratingly long lines at popular restaurants on Saturday night. The team decided to help those people who didn't want to wait in line. They paired off and booked reservations at several restaurants. As the times for their reservations approached, they sold each reservation for up to $20 to customers who were happy to avoid a long wait. Another team took an even simpler approach. They set up a stand in front of the student union where they offered to measure bicycle tire pressure for free. If the tires needed filling, they added air for $1. Even though the cyclists could get their tires filled for free nearby, and the task was easy for the students to perform, they soon realized that they were providing a convenient and valuable service. In fact, halfway through the 2-hour period, the team stopped asking for a specific payment and requested donations instead. Their income increased greatly. They made much more when their customers were voluntarily paying for a free service than when being asked to pay a fixed price. Each of these projects brought in a few $100s, and their fellow classmates were very impressed. However, the team that generated the greatest profit looked at the resources at their disposal through completely different lenses and made $650. These students determined that the most valuable asset they had was neither the $5 nor the 2 hours. Instead, their insight was that their most precious resource was their 3-minute presentation time on Monday. They decided to sell it to a company that wanted to recruit the students in the class. The team created a 3-minute commercial for that company and showed it to the students during the time they would have presented what they had done the prior week. This was brilliant. Each of the other 11 teams found various ways to earn money, including running a photo booth at the annual Viennese ball, selling maps that highlighted local restaurants during Parents' Weekend, and designing and selling a custom T-shirt to the students in the class. One team actually lost money when the students purchased umbrellas to sell in San Francisco on a rainy day, only to have the weather clear up shortly after they launched their effort. And, yes, one team ran a car wash, and another team started a lemonade stand, but their returns were much lower than average. The exercise described above highlights several counterintuitive points. First, opportunities are abundant. At any place and time, you can look around and identify problems that need solving. Some are mundane, such as getting a table at a popular restaurant or pumping up bike tires. Many, as we well know, are much larger, relating to major world issues. As Vinod Khosla, a successful venture capitalist, says so clearly, the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. Nobody will pay you to solve a non-problem. Second, regardless of the size of the problem, there are usually creative ways to use the resources already at your disposal to solve it. This is actually the definition many of my colleagues use for entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is someone who is always on the lookout for problems that can be turned into opportunities and finds creative ways to leverage limited resources to reach their goals. Most people approach problems as though they can't be solved and, therefore, don't see the creative solutions sitting right in front of them. Third, we so often frame problems too tightly. When given a simple challenge, such as earning money in 2 hours, most people quickly jump to standard responses. They don't step back and look at the problem more broadly. Taking off the blinders opens up a world of possibilities. Students who participated in this project took this lesson to heart. Many reflected later that they would never have an excuse for being broke, since there is always a nearby problem begging to be solved. They realized that problems could be viewed as opportunities for creative solutions.